So welcome on the Microsoft booth. We are at LeWeb and we're really happy to have Daniel Lewin with us today. Hi Daniel.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. So can you present yourself to our friends on the web?
Sure, well, I'm Daniel Lewin. I'm a vice president at Microsoft, and I look after our startup programs around the world. I live and work in Silicon Valley, which is where we have 3,000 or so Microsoft employees doing R&D work. My group in particular builds programs and outreach to the venture capital community, the startup, accelerator, incubator community all around the world. So I'm here at LeWeb doing just that.
It may help since it's today we are at the 3rd anniversary of Bizspark.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a big day because we started 3 years ago at LeWeb.
That's right. We made the announcement in Europe of the Bizspark program 3 years ago here at LeWeb. Different venue. It was really cold back then.
Yeah,
it was very cold. We had to wear a winter coat in the building. But exciting times. The 3-year anniversary is very exciting. Because we're here in France, I can give you a little update on the sort of the French market. It's very exciting. There are 1,000 startups that are participating in the Bizspark program from the French community. Best estimates are on the order of 7,000 or more jobs have been created as part of these startups, which is really kind of cool. The program has been a great success globally, 45,000 plus companies, and we think there'll be about 15,000 that will graduate from the program this year as we bring in new companies to join the program. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's really a lot.
It is, yeah.
It's really exciting. Can you share with us your background before your life before Microsoft?
Sure. Yeah, I spent all of my business life working in Silicon Valley. So when I finished my school, I was on the East Coast in the United States, and I moved to Silicon Valley in the fall of 1976. And I spent several years working for Sony in the very early days, and what was evolving into recording systems and storage systems and floppy disks and things like that. But I ended up working at Apple soon thereafter, and so I spent my early formative years at Apple working there, focusing on various market development activities. I was fortunate to participate in the team that built the Macintosh very early on. There were about 10 people or so in the group. And then when I left Apple, I left with Steve Jobs, and we started a company called Next, so I was one of the founders there. Spent about 5 years at Next building the company. Left to go and do another startup with Kleiner Perkins-backed company, if people know the Kleiner Perkins venture capital firm. Building a mobile and pen-based operating system, so very early in this sort of tablet phase. This is 1990, a long time ago, way ahead of its time. And then I did a series of other startups working with corporations, Apple and IBM, did some joint ventures. I did one startup focused on children's software. I care a lot about education and the impact that technology can have on children and students of all ages. And then I ran a company for 5 years focused on intellectual property, asset management in the enterprise before I came to Microsoft 10 years ago. And in my 10 years at Microsoft, I focused on all the same things, focusing on entrepreneurs, startups, and venture capital. So that's a quick history of my business career.
I know that you love really a lot startup. What is your best advice for guys who want to start to be an entrepreneur?
Well, yeah, you know, in many ways, the entrepreneur...
Subscribe at Bizspark first.
Yeah, well, say that again? Yeah, Bizspark's a good way. I mean, you get no charge use right to all of our tools and technology for 3 full years. And if you're less than a 3-year-old company, you can join. At the end of 3 years, you own outright all the licenses that you've been using, and then you just pay for maintenance fees like you would pay anyone else. So the program is very aggressive and supportive of entrepreneurs, but you know, the core of your question is more associated with what should an entrepreneur focus on. And in my mind, entrepreneurism is really all about following your passion and your personal energy. And you know, an entrepreneur has to stay very, very focused, have a big vision, but stay very, very focused. And I encourage people to start with the market. Technology these days is a means to that end because there are many choices for technology. If you pick the technology from a large partner who can be helpful to you, that's always wise. That's why I like working at Microsoft and what we do. But if you don't start with the customer or the market, sometimes it's just that one person is the market, sometimes it's maybe the financial services market or a healthcare market, but you have to start with that context and understand the problem space, and then stay very, very, very focused on building something that has significant value, and be willing to iterate and change quickly, but also be consistent with your behavior over time. That's really a central element. So start with the market, stay focused, be willing to change, but only when you have the feedback that gives you the right to change. But you've got to stay true to your own personal energy. And if you don't believe in it, and if you're only in it for the money, that typically will show through. So you've really got to believe personally in what you're doing, and that's when people will bet on you and they'll invest in you and they'll help you, they'll mentor you. Typically that's when they'll finance you as well, if assuming you need money.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Yeah, terrific to be here. This is a nice program, and good luck to you too.
Thank you.
All right, great.
Bye-bye.